It's strange how everything changes after you finally meet someone you thought you would only imagine. For days, I kept thinking about that night, the one where the distance disappeared, and the silence between our balconies finally found a voice. But stories like ours, they never end where you expect them to. After the cafe, I walked home with her note in my pocket. The views bitter when shared. The words kept unfolding in my head like a line from a poet that refused to end forever. The city looked washed clean, the air smelling like coffee and rain, and every puddle reflected the glow of passing headlights. For the first time in months, I wasn't walking home alone. Her memory walked beside me. When I reached my building, I looked up. Her balcony light was on again. Curtains drawn halfway, the familiar wind chime swaying like it had something to say. That tiny sound felt like a heartbeat I had been listening to for weeks. I didn't wave, didn't call out, just watched the light flicker across her plans and thought how two people could share a skyline and still feel like a secret only the sky understood. Over the next few days, life slipped back into routine. Emails, traffic, unwashed coffee mugs. But something inside me had changed. Even silence had her name in it. Whenever I stepped out to water plants, I would catch the curtain move on her side. Not much, just a small motion, like a word whispered across distance. Sometimes I would hum the tune she sang once. Sometimes she would answer without realizing, the faintest echo of the same melody drifting back. We never spoke, but we didn't have to. The rhythm between our balconies was saying enough. One morning, I noticed a new pot on her railing. Tiny yellow marigolds, still wrapped in shop plastic. I remember smiling. It meant she was still there. Later that night, she turned on her fairy lights again. For the first time since the cafe, the space between us grew. I leaned against the railing, coffee in hand, and realized how much peace can exist between two people who choose not to rush. But peace doesn't last forever. A few days later, a moving truck stopped beneath our building. Boxes, furniture, the kind of sight that hurts. The balcony was empty by evening. No plants, no lights, just the wind chime still hanging, singing to nobody. I wanted to ask where she was going, but maybe some goodbyes are meant to stay unanswered. When I came home that night, folded envelope sat at my door. Same handwriting, same hurried loops. She wrote, "Thank you for listening, even when I didn't speak." There was a movie, no signature, just closure. stepped onto the balcony, held the note beneath the light, and looked across the empty railing. The city kept breathing like nothing had changed, but I knew it had. I placed her first napkin note beside the flower pot and let the wind decide what to do with it. It might stayed, it might flew away, maybe it found her again. I'll never know. But standing there, I realized we don't always meet people to keep. Sometimes we meet them to understand something we couldn't have learned alone. Days passed and her apartment stayed empty. But the wind still found that chime and carried its sound across to me. A reminder that some presences don't fade, they just change form. And when the light hits right, I still catch a reflection in the window. A silhouette, maybe imagine, maybe memory looking back. I didn't lose her. I just met her at the right time, in a place where words were too small for what we both felt. Sometimes love isn't about keeping someone, it's about realizing you don't have to anymore. It's about finding stillness after the noise almost. Well, this was Between Our Balconies, episode 5, After We Met. A story about two strangers who never really found each other, but found something just as rare as